have a wonderful, wonderful guest this morning. Her name is Gelin Ducati. I always say it in the Latino way, but this
I
is Gelin Ducati.
Yeah.
She happens to be the Penn Fed Financial Center manager, but we are here to talk to Gelin about a wonderful, wonderful organization that she just created. Recently, but they're already out there doing stuff, and that is called Beyond Disabilities, which is a Florida nonprofit organization. And we're going to talk about Beyond Disabilities. Jadeline, thank you very much for waking up on a Saturday morning and being with us at Making Connections. How are you doing today?
Yeah, doing good and glad to be here, David.
Outstanding, outstanding. We do this on a Saturday because, we're pretty busy during the days, the weekdays, like you are. I know because I see you very busy with the chamber and obviously with your job. And then on a Saturday
Yes.
morning, we take advantage ourselves here also to do this YouTube show called Making Connections. And we're glad to have you because we want to talk about this organization beyond disabilities that you have created. Let's start by you telling us a little bit about you, Jeline. I know I just mentioned where you work and all that stuff, but just let everybody know who you are.
Yes. So, well, besides my full-time job for PenFed, I created Beyond Disabilities back in 2024, um, due to my son having Lennox-Gastaut syndrome, short for LGS. And at first, it started off as a personal blog
Okay.
to capture Trace's journey. And as I started doing that journey, a lot of families reached out to my page asking for different things that I could help their children with because
Mhm.
of all the things I'm doing for Trace. So with that exposure, um, I feel like the higher power has reached out to me and touched my heart to say you need to make this official and make it a mission of yours to help other children out there. So in 2024, I formulated a nonprofit. I actually sat on that nonprofit 501(c)(3) approved
Oh
um,
wow, wonderful. That's a
for a
great. That's one
year.
of the biggest
Yes.
hurdles and steps that you got to take, and congratulations on having
Yes.
that already.
Yes. So I have that letter from the IRS. I'm approved for a 501(c)(3) nonprofit. And then I actually sat on the paper and even my articles of incorporation through the state of Florida for about a year because at that time I didn't really know what the branding would be and who I'm going to be representing with this nonprofit. I knew
Right.
I wanted to do something for the greater good of the all abilities family, but I didn't know what it is that I would like to offer.
Uh-huh.
I've brainstormed with several ideas, whether or not providing a like a childcare for the kiddos who can't be accepted because they're not medically complex, but then yet, they're not qualified for normal daycare setup. So I was thinking, well, I can be that middle person to where, I can create like a children's center that will cater to that.
Hmm.
And what made it a parent advocacy program is really through my journey with Trey and taking care of the special needs child myself.
Sure.
And I was like, we can have a million. And this is, I'm so proud of like a lot of the academies and a lot of schools that we have in our local community. But I was like, where is that gap? Because we teach the children, we teach the professionals, teachers of even the public school system. We all know that they offer free therapy services for their exceptional children who attends this public school system. But then where is that gap?
Right.
And then I was like, I want to touch a lot of people's lives through reaching out to the parents and caregivers of these exceptional children.
You bet.
Because I was thinking in my mind, I was thinking if we equip the parents, then the children will continuously thrive because after they're done with their 8-hour day from school, they can bring it home and then it continues.
Ah, yeah, yes, and that's
Because
very important. As the father of a kid with autism, that's extremely important what you just said because whether it's a therapy or education or whatever the case may be, if you don't follow up at home, it's not a waste of time, obviously, but it is a lost opportunity because the continuation of that therapeutic
correct,
treatment and or education is very important. Uh, I've learned that a long
correct.
time ago in the autism world because the parents just got to be able to follow up, and if they don't know what to do,
Correct.
That's really tough, and so
Right.
that's one of the best things I think that you can do in helping them understand that part and teaching them also how to do it, right?
Right. So I was thinking, well, part of that is educating the parents as well,
Exactly.
caregivers, grandparents, whoever's taking care of that child. Because through my research in the disabilities world, I also noticed why is there an increase of child neglect in most cases, special needs children.
Hmm.
And instead of looking down on the parents as to bad parenting, there's a lot that goes on in the mind and the health of the primary caregivers of these children. It takes a lot. It's exhausting, it's mentally tiring and draining. And at the
Exactly.
end of the day, you just really don't have the energy to care for a little tiny human that will totally be dependent on you. So
Exactly.
that's why my mantra is igniting hope and empowering lives, because I feel like if the parents are equipped enough and if they know they have a go-to place, a sacred haven for them to go to and feel safe and be themselves and have the resources, um, I feel like ultimately the children will benefit from all of this,
Completely
right? If they
agree.
have
Yes.
healthy parents and they have, so I was thinking, okay, then that would be my brand. Beyond Disabilities brand will be the bridge to connect these families to all the resources we have in the community to know that they belong and it is an inclusive community. So that's what I stuck with as far as
Yeah.
the main branding of Beyond Disabilities.
Gelin, as it relates to LGS, which is the acronym for your son's situation, how did you um, catch certain signs or certain things about your son that eventually led to the identification of what the situation was? Was there certain symptoms, certain situations that when he was a baby or something you noticed?
Um, yeah, so at first, the doctors, the medical experts out there told me that my son has this seizure condition due to hypoglycemia. Although that's
Mhm.
true, there's been so many cases of hypoglycemic babies, neonatal hypoglycemia, that actually came back. They may have some seizures, but actually came back normal and they're thriving. With Trey though, one of the things that I noticed, he is not responding, his seizures is not responding to any medication. And the first go-to would be Keppra.
Uh,
Keppra,
Familiar
a
with it.
lot of people knows about Keppra, because that's the first go-to seizure meds, but he is not responding to it. And when he's had an MRI and numerous EEGs done, the brain activity that he's got is basically generalizes throughout. So they couldn't really identify if it's focal,
Right.
uh, absent seizure that he's having, but the electrical waves activities in his brain, this crazy things that you see on an EEG is basically throughout his brain.
Mm, okay.
So I I researched it myself because I had endless night and sleepless night for the first year that he was born as to what could have caused this. And that's when our mighty Google said, research infantile spasms. And when I researched infantile spasms, it was a very devastating epilepsy condition that occurs birth through like baby stage. Maybe 6 months. 6 months, I say 6 months because that's when you really start noticing it. Because even though a newly born baby already has IS, infantile spasms, you can't really tell because babies, they don't really see colors. You see a lot of flutters in their eyes. So it's really hard to detect, but it's a very dangerous seizure, infantile spasms. It's brain damaging. If the child is born with some great brain cells, if the infantile spasms is present, it could kill off the other good brain cells that were functioning.
I
So if
understand.
it's not catched or caught early, it could damage other parts of the brain. So the thing is early detection. People should actually research this. December 7th is Infantile Spasms Awareness Week, December 1st through the 7th. And basically, early detection is key.
Yeah,
Early
exactly.
detection
Like
is
like
key.
many of the situations or conditions that the children have, autism. As I was mentioning
Mhm.
to you, I'm the father of a son with autism, and it was those little nuances and differences in his development, that I was able to also notice because I have two sons who do not have autism,
Mhm.
and so the parents always kind of the first one to get that feeling and that observance of something's not correct, something's not right. Did you
Correct.
also find yourself, and my son is 24 years old, so I know it's many years ago already, but even then, to be honest with you, 20 years ago, there was even ignorance about autism in the
Mm-hmm.
medical side of the house and definitely in the school side of the house, education
Hmm.
wise. It has improved greatly, to be honest with you, which is
Yes.
awesome.
Hmm.
But there was a tendency for pediatricians to ignore some of the what the parent would be
Correct.
noticing. Do you see that going on in
Oh,
this
absolutely.
LGS situation?
Absolutely. Yes. So let me give you a background. So when I self-diagnosed my child, had suspicion of the infantile spasms. Um, I detected that probably, so he was born August of 22. I detected that probably February because this is when he's really showing signs of like repetitive, very rhythmic movement. They told me no, it's myoclonus jerks or, muscle fatigue. And I said, I feel like he has infantile spasm because he's doing this movement. So the medical professionals told me no. Give it a moment. A lot of kiddos who has low muscle tone will show signs of head drop because sometimes Trey will just like his head would just drop, like
Right. Right.
face plant on his crib. And so, do you know, David, that I carried this thing 7 months and then I kept pushing. I was like, listen, he's, 1 year old and
Hmm.
he's having this thing. And then he was like, when he does that, he would do these things and then he would cry, like typically
Right.
after waking up from a nap. And I was like, I, we need to do EEG. So I demanded EEG. So that's the first battle. Second battle is justifying it to the insurance companies
Yes,
because it's not
unfortunately.
medically necessary. But um I have been logging like all
Hmm.
these activities for all those 7 months, and I told him, look, this is what he's doing, and he does this weirdly enough after waking up. So Trey was not properly diagnosed with infantile spasms. This is just the infantile spasms when he was 13 months old. So he was having
Wow.
it since he was 6 months, and he was not diagnosed until he's over a year old. And to this day, I still hold this guilt in my heart that the reason why he um, regressed even more is
Hmm.
because he was not treated right
Early
away.
enough, right away
So
when
I
you
feel
when you
like,
noticed it. Uh-huh.
yeah, I felt like the IS was like killed off whatever good brain cells he did have.
I understand.
Um
Yeah,
yes.
unfortunately, that's the case, especially with conditions that are not as common, obviously. But yes, even with a thing like autism, which at that time was already very,
Mhm.
from people, a very recognizable condition. We were still having problems with some pediatricians understanding that that's what we're looking at, that's what we're seeing. The development is not going as the normal child was.
Yes.
Similar to you, I would call my son and he would not respond. And initially I thought, is
Mhm.
he deaf? Right? And things like
Right.
that. All those things go through your mind. And no, it was, the autism symptoms that I was noticing. So
Wow. Mhm.
I know exactly what you're going through because I'm sure it's still the case. Now, having
Yes.
said that, is there a national entity that's already out there for the
Yeah, so
situation of LGS?
for IS, LGS, they're all kind of like together. Like I said, infantile spasms turn into LGS, and all it is a harder to control seizures. The refractory seizures, a lot of times in children that you see as vegetables in a wheelchair because they're having so much seizures and it can't be controlled by medication.
Hmm.
They're being diagnosed with what is called LGS, which is also early onset of seizures will be infantile spasms. So
Got it.
there is an LGS foundation and which was also a huge foundation throughout. It's a national foundation out there, and who started it is a mother as well, whose
Oh,
daughter,
yes.
rest in peace, she just recently passed 2 years ago. She's a teenager when she passed,
Uh-huh.
but the whole mission was started due to her daughter. and she was a stay-at-home mom, and she took her master's degree in neurology, and she did the homework herself to study her daughter's condition, and
And that
which
is
is
very,
very
again, another
impressive.
one of those things that, yeah, it's mostly the way things start. A parent takes the situation,
Right,
starts educating themselves like you did, researching,
correct.
and then hopefully, like she did, she creates something that hopefully will have a bigger effect. And number one, first of
Yes.
all, teaching people about it and making them aware. Uh, Finding a way to get people that are going through the same situation together, all those kind of things are so
Hmm.
great to do. So I really want to commend you for what you're doing here in our Northwest Florida area, in a
Yes.
similar fashion here, because I'm sure there's maybe one or two or more parents out there that
Hmm.
are probably going through the same thing, and they have not had any support, here in the
Correct.
area. I'm gonna quickly try and go to the website for that foundation. I found it real
Hmm.
quick as soon as you mentioned
Yeah.
it, and
Yeah.
see if it lets me find it here to share it,
Yes.
and then we'll
Hmm.
share also obviously your website. Do you see it, Jaline? Should
It's
be
not
coming
coming
up.
up yet.
Yeah, it should
Hmm.
be coming up right there, I believe.
Yes. Yep.
So this is the
That's it.
Lennox-Gastaut Syndrome
Yep.
Foundation, the national foundation that Jalene was just talking about, for
Yes.
anyone that wants to learn more about LGS. You
Yep.
can go to lgsfoundation.org. And now there's the national one. We are now talking to the founder of the Northwest Florida area LGS related organization, in a sense that
Hmm.
her son is going through it, but more importantly, they're going to be doing a lot of other things having to do with the helping people that are caretakers or parents of kids with disabilities. So let's talk
Correct.
about that, Jelene, if you don't mind. Let's talk about
Yep.
some of the things that you with Beyond Disabilities, I know we mentioned a couple of them already, have already in place, and maybe some of those that in the near future are trying to accomplish here in the area.
Yeah, so currently, like I said, initially I was thinking just to provide a free space. So just let me back up a little bit. So the
Hmm.
whole thought process came about when my son was entered into Early Steps program. So the state of Florida have what it's called Early Steps, and basically they provide free therapy services for all globally delayed children
Hmm.
and in the whole state. But obviously, there is some main person from Tallahassee who comes and who's in charge of our Okaloosa County area. So when he got entered to that program, he received his free therapy services. And as an advocate myself, when they come to the house, so they provide the free therapy services at your home. And through my journey there, I provide all of the therapy equipment. And you connect like any other, like a clinical therapy as well. I connect with the Early Steps clinical people that comes to the house, and we collaborate. They write their little summary of their session and whatnot, but they kept telling me how I'm doing such a great job. Like,
Hmm.
this is a really perfect setup you got here. And sometimes they even observe me, my interaction with Trey in our bedroom, because I want to know what else I can do that's a real life situation. Okay.
That's
When
right.
I'm coming home from work. So all of Trey's medical team keeps telling me, oh, we love what you guys are doing. Do you mind sharing? So I was like, what is there to share? Because I'm like, I'm doing the bare minimum. I'm
You're
providing a
training
therapy
them.
pad. Yeah, I'm providing a therapy pad. It was like, oh, do we need the little bouncy ball for Trey? I'll buy it, right? But it has nothing to do with the money aspect of it. I was
Right,
more intrigued of the services and the care that I'm providing for Trey, which I thought is just part of my parenting, right?
right.
Okay, we got PT coming to the house. We want to make sure the house is ready to go. And that's when they start opening up with me and telling me, Mrs. Ducati, you wouldn't believe how many children out there are eligible to receive the services but due to homelessness, we aren't able to provide the services.
Wow.
Or, and I'm going to tell you, David, I'm going to tell you this right now, a huge part of that 25% of what I've mentioned yesterday, in the disabled community, a huge part of that homelessness community is Latin community.
No, I'm not surprised, right? And there's a high
So,
number there.
and they're uninsured, so therefore, they can't afford to buy the equipment that these children need. So the only thing the early steps will provide is the actual PTOT.
Right.
As far as what we're going to use during those session,
They
it's going
don't
to be up
provide
to
the
the
equipment
parents
part.
to provide.
Right.
So that's when I formulated Beyond Disabilities. I was like, well, will it help? This is literally, I asked Joe, and the whole medical team will have a meeting in my dining room table. Will it help if we have a space? Will it help? I was like, are you serious? It's like, yeah, because I mean, if there's no space, we'll have a space.
And do
Ah, of course, it's harder than I thought. Because at that time, I was like, what were you thinking?
it.
But my thought process was like low overhead because it was going to be locked, but it was going to be therapy ready. It's going to
Yes.
be like a clinic. All they need to do, licensed
They
therapists can use the space so these
right.
children
And
can
the parents
come
come to
and
this
get.
place. Yes.
And what prompted even more why I started it without really thinking things through is because I thought I was just going to open up a space, rent it out to early steps, like for free. And I was just going to raise the funds for the community. I thought community would just get it just like that, right? I thought they would get what I'm saying. So it's a little bit harder than I thought. Obviously, fast forward 2026, we're still having a hard time securing a space because of all the costs that, includes in that. But I was like, okay, so there is for one lack of space. So therefore, early steps is only provided from birth to 3 years old. Okay, so early intervention is key. So remember,
Yes.
the reason why I started Beyond Disabilities for the children to thrive. But if
Right.
children's already missing that first 3 years of their life, which is critical to their development, then you basically pass that point. They can
Hmm.
still learn, but as their brain is growing for whatever is there, it's important that they receive those PT, OT, speech therapy services because babies are like sponges, right?
Exactly.
And
Yes.
the neoplasticity of the brain can
That's
learn
right.
quickly, regardless if there's damage in the brain.
Yep.
So my heart basically dropped because the time is critical for these children because they get older year after year. And
That's
past the
right.
3 years old, they get dropped off from the program and they get transferred to a different program,
Hmm.
which is Silver Sands, another school here, or a
Special needs.
PPEC kind of school. Yeah. But with that, it's not like a one-on-one. So early steps, if you know about it, early steps provide a one-on-one session up to 2 hours a week. So a lot of the kids, David, they get their therapy at the public school library at Fort Walton Beach, or they get into like McDonald's, wherever who will provide
Really?
them free
Wow.
space. I
For those
know.
people that
So
don't have a home or the
yeah.
space to do it.
The thing with that though is the space itself is not clinical. So remember that.
Right.
So they don't
Right.
have, and I already talked to Fort Walton Beach Library because I have the equipment here. Like I have the PT grade pads that it can stay in a like gymnasium kind of thing. I have
Hmm.
them. I have four of them sitting in my garage. I
Wow.
have it.
Is the
Um,
space issue, Gelin, that in trying to find the space to have that capability, an issue of certifications and legalities, or I
so
know
the
there's money involved,
funding,
obviously,
yeah,
because you
so
gotta
there's
either need to
money and
purchase or
then
rent. But are
um
legalities also part of the delay in making
yes.
something happen like that?
Yes, so this is the thing too. So in order for us to secure a space, especially, of course, I would want this for my children, for them to be secure. It
Of
has to
course.
be approved by the state of Florida. It's kind of
Right.
like getting your childcare license, if
Yes.
you're going to run a center, even though it's not a real center, but it's still the same protocol. And I would
Sure.
love to have that license. But in order for them to approve me of that license, I need to have the space first. So it's like, which one comes first, the
The chicken
chicken
and
or
the
the
egg.
egg,
The
right?
chicken or the
So, but
egg.
securing a space, and this is the thing. If, like, let's say we secure a space, let's say in a perfect world, we already have the funds, let's go ahead and start at least the first year and see what we're going to do. And I feel like once we have that space open, people will start donating more.
Yes.
The thing with that is That's why me and Christine Martinez, my other board member that's in charge of the real estate and securing a space for us, were kind of like putting our heads together. I said, we need to know the zoning right away because I would hate for us to secure a space. And then here comes the state of Florida who's going to give us the
Can't
license,
do
like,
it here.
not good
Yeah.
enough. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
can't do it here.
Yeah,
Can't do it here.
that definitely can happen without finding out first.
Right.
Yes.
And the governance around that is that if we do secure, if it's a commercial space, there's a 7 year minimum, which is I don't think we can commit a 7 year. So it's been a battle for sure. So
I
it's been a
understand.
battle.
Let's go to your website. There's your son right there, Trey, you
Yeah.
know. Beautiful,
There's
beautiful
Trey.
boy. And let's see. So you got over here, learn more. What do we got
Mhm.
here? Talk, you can just describe if you're going through it.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. So here's your advocacy and education. You want to talk about some of these things?
Yes. So because we're having a hard time securing a space, the board and I decide that we need to bring awareness because that's really where it starts. No one's going to give us money until they really know what we're doing. So I was like, well, we are an advocacy group. So let's start a parent advocacy program because the more parents know about it and the more that the community knows what we're doing for the community, then it will we will get traction. So
Yes.
currently we're holding um monthly parent support meeting every third Saturday of each month at the Fort Walton Beach Library.
Oh, okay.
And yes, so that is the first thing that we're doing um every month. And we made a partnership officially with Fort Walton Beach Library to provide all-inclusive interactive workshops at the library as well.
Wonderful, wonderful,
So,
and obviously continuing advocacy throughout, as much as you get a chance, to talk about it throughout the area, right? If anybody wants to
ye-
invite you to come and educate him more
yes,
about
right.
LGS and beyond disabilities, that's welcome, obviously, right? If anybody, community agencies or community groups that are
Mhm.
out there, um,
Yes.
listening or watching, you are always willing to go out and talk about it, I'm sure, right?
Yes, yes. And then, of course, during those meetings, not only that the parents or the caregivers of these children will feel safe to talk about their journey and what it is that
Mhm.
they need. Beyond Disabilities also currently serves as a bridge for all those resources, things that they can do, places that's all inclusive. So there's couple people who approached me yesterday at the Chamber of Commerce, like things that they're offering, and there's some funding on some of these things. So
Yes, you bet. I'm
um,
sure there is.
yeah,
Yes.
so that's some great news for some of our parents because the disabilities world can be isolating, and it can be very hard to be out there doing all these activities with your children when you don't know what's out there to do.
That's correct. And that's one of the
So,
one that's going to be I think one of the biggest benefits of what you're doing, Gelin, because again, there's ignorance even at the professional level of the medical side. I'm sure the school system, the same thing. And then it's
right.
obviously from the parents' perspective, which I think is the key, one of the key things that you will be doing is educating the parents, informing them. Many of them do not
Yes.
know how to navigate this world of
Right.
special needs, you know?
Yes, yes. So that's kind of the start, and hopefully, we are also for the future, the future plan is to secure the space. So, because no time is wasted, no time is
Yes,
wasted.
correct.
The time is now to really work on securing a space for the children because the longer we hold it, the longer these children are not receiving the therapy that they're eligible for to receive. And I feel like it's their right to receive this
Yeah, I agree.
services.
I agree with that. And
And
obviously, community support from the business community is very important, as we all know. And you do
correct.
have an upcoming event. Let's go to the event section over here of
Yes,
your site. This is the
yes. Paint the
Paint the
town
Town
teal.
Teal. Tell us a little bit about that. Who's running that? I mean, obviously
So,
your organization, but who's helping you with this one and how the public can support it?
yeah, so the Exit Realty Group, the Exit Realty Anchor South is the one who decided to do this fundraising for us, Paint the Town Teal. And they every year they do this to benefit a nonprofit.
Uh-huh.
And the Exit Realty Anchor South group approached me if they can have Beyond Disabilities as the main benefactor for
Uh,
this fundraising. And as you know, we were talking about it. I said, yes, I was so honored they picked us because I don't see us as that nonprofit yet, right? We're bringing in awareness to the nonprofit organization. But this is an amazing opportunity for us to raise the funds, hopefully to secure us some kind of space for the children so that way they can start using the facility.
hmm
So this is on May 8th. It's at 6 o'clock at a place on Beale.
Wow.
So there's also sponsorship opportunities. There's also a table. As far as the real detail of the fundraising, Ross, Christine, the whole Exit Realty group is the one who's really running it. Like it's
Oh,
so
okay.
nice because I don't even have all the program details or anything like that. I will be at the event to speak about Beyond Disabilities, but they're doing all of these things to benefit my organization.
That is
So,
wonderful.
yes,
Congratulations on that. These are very important events to both raise awareness, number one, and obviously also the funds that you may need for some of your current programs, and a little bit of money for the future ones, and all of those things. So this is a very
yes,
important
exactly.
event. And again, the details. So then the people that are interested in either sponsoring, donating, and or attending should just be contacting these individuals here that have to do with the
Correct.
Exit Realty Anchor South Group, correct? The
Yes,
RSVP, the contact information is for them, and they have
correct.
all the details and information available to for whoever is interested. Um,
Yes, right.
and sponsorship opportunities, as everyone can see there, are there for corporations and or individuals,
Mm-hmm.
companies, and the like. And then eventually the program of activities for that day will be obviously promoted and published, speakers and everybody else that's coming to it, including you,
Yes,
obviously. Oh,
right.
wonderful. This is great.
Yes.
This is great. I hope it is very successful because I know this is very important. Community support on the business side and obviously the individuals that are out here in the community trying to help a good cause, in this case,
Yes.
beyond disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
Well, again,
We
I
are
want
very
to
honored.
congratulate you for what you're doing because it is parent power when it comes to some things like this, especially disabilities, especially um, some of them that are not as well known as others, as we know, that there's a difference in the support that people receive for those
Mm-hmm.
that everybody knows about, but then there are others that are not as common or as well known, and
Mm-hmm.
so it takes again that parent power to plant that seed, like the lady that you mentioned that created the national organization, and now you here in the Emerald Coast with
Yes.
Beyond Disabilities, and I want to congratulate you for doing that, and
Thank you. Mhm.
we ask everyone that's watching to support Beyond Disabilities. Call Gelin, let her know how you can help them, from just being there, part of the team, to donating, to sponsoring, and then making this thing be as successful as God will allow it to be. Because if He's behind it, then it will be successful. Because the
Yes.
parent is taking the initiative to do so. Um, Anything else that you want to close out with, Jelene, regarding your organization or
No, that's it. I'm very honored to even like ask me to be on your channel today, to bring awareness, which is kind of like where we're at. This is the phase that we're at, I believe. But the more people know about what we're really doing, and the people are more educated on what we go through as special needs community, I think it will eventually make sense to the general public on the importance of this advocacy
okay,
group.
good. Thank you, Jelene. Have
Yes,
a
thank
great
you.
Saturday and a great weekend. And we'll see you. This has
Yes,
been Making Connections, the interview show with Jelene Ducati, the founder of Beyond Disabilities, a nonprofit organization, on behalf of her son and others that she's going to help throughout the years that are coming. Have a good
yes.
one. We'll see you next time. Nos
Thank
vemos.
you.
Me pregunto si sabes que quiero lo mejor para ti, que sé por lo que estás pasando. Yo sé que son tiempos difíciles, pero tú sigues estando presente. Me pregunto si sabes que podemos conseguir ayuda, que no tenemos que pasar por esto solos. Veamos qué tan lejos podemos llegar. Con amor, tu mente.
Do you want to advertise to thousands of Hispanics and non-Hispanics in Northwest Florida, and Southern Alabama?
¿Quieres promover tu empresa y producto a miles de hispanos y no hispanos?
Connection is your most cost-efficient way to do so.
Conexión es tu solución.
Conexion is your bridge to connect you to the growing Hispanic market in the region. Call us.
Llámanos.
Here are some of the great events that are happening in our region. ¿Qué pasa en la región? Aquí tenemos algunos de los eventos que están pasando en esta región de la Costa Esmeralda en los próximos meses.
Todd's in the hospital.
From vaping.
Oh, miss you all. Vape, Emma?
Not cool.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Talk to your child about vaping today.
Well, as the saying goes, all good things must come to an end, and we have reached the end of this edition of Making Connections, the interview show. We want to extend our thanks to Gelin Ducati for being with us and telling us all about her nonprofit organization, Beyond Disabilities. We invite everyone to catch up with them, go to their organization's website, and learn more about what they're doing on behalf of the families that have kids with disabilities. And we also invite you to join us and watch this show in our Conexión YouTube channel. Make sure that you like and subscribe to our channel so that you can catch up on all the shows that we create and the interviews, the on the coast, the Conexión on the streets interviews that we do. So join us in our YouTube channel for those. We also share the presentations and videos through Facebook, X, Instagram, and Threads, our social media sites. So catch us up on all of those social media sites. You can also join us in our website, conexionflorida.com, to catch up on what's going on with our publication, Conexión Online. Thank you very much for being with us. May God bless you and have a great springtime.